like to call the meeting to order.
Madam Chair, I move that we reconvene in open session and adopt certification of closed.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to reconvene in open session and adopt certification of closed session. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Certification of closed session. Whereas the Dinwiddie County School Board has convened a closed session on this date pursuant to an affirmative recorded vote and in accordance with the provisions of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, and whereas paragraph 2.2-3712 of the Code of Virginia requires a certification by the school board that such closed meeting was conducted in conformity with Virginia's law. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Dinwiddie County School Board hereby certifies that, to the best of each member's knowledge, only such business matters as were identified in the motion convening the closed meeting were heard, discussed, or considered by the school board. J. Neff, District 1.
I certify.
Betty Haney, District 2.
I certify.
Barbara Pittman, District 3.
I certify.
Mary Benjamin, District 4.
I certify.
Sherlyn Merritt, District 5.
I certify.
And Madam Chair, non-voting representative Jamaica Weaver and Claire Culbreth, all certified.
Thank you. Okay, I would like to invite Claire to lead us in the pledge. Would you all please stand?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay. Do we have any amendments to the agenda? Okay.
Madam Chair, I move that we accept the agenda and adopt as presented.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to adopt the agenda as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Recognitions.
Good evening.
Good evening.
As you can tell, we have a very full room, and that's because we have a lot of people to recognize for some great things they've done for our county, for our young people, for our families. And we'd like to start with our 2022 retirees. And what I will do is I will call their name, announce how long they have served in our county or served our children, and then ask them to stand and remain standing until we've gotten to the end of the list. And I would ask the room if you'll please hold your applause until we do get through all the names, because we do have a quite a number of them, and I'm thrilled to announce each and every one. With 30 years as an 8th grade history and social science teacher at the middle school, Beverly Allen. With 37 years as a library media specialist at the high school, Joni C. Arnott. At central office, the director of school nutrition for 43 years, Carrie Athey. Also at central office, human resources specialist and all-around utility player for 38 years, Sherry Athey. At Sutherland Elementary, a 5th grade teacher for 19 years, Janice Bielmeyer. In transportation, a bus driver for 30 years, Loretta M. Booth. At Dinwiddie Elementary, exceptional education teacher for 27 years, Brenda Brammer. Sutherland Elementary School nutrition specialist for 15 and a half years, Shirley Browder. In maintenance, for 43 years, James Coleman. Also from the maintenance department, with 24 years, James Cooper. In maintenance, for a total of 45 years, Michael Golson. At Dinwiddie High School Spanish teacher, Miss Yita G. Gomez, 30 years. At central office, an executive secretary with 30 years of experience, Pat Harrell. Transportation, a bus driver for 12 years, Dennis Kaufman. The Dinwiddie High School nurse, 25 years of experience, Delphine Lewis. At Dinwiddie Middle, a library and media specialist with 28 years of service to our county, Cheryl Mellick. At Dinwiddie Elementary counselor, 23 years of experience, Sherry Mill. In transportation, a bus driver with 38 years of experience, Judith B. Miller. With 21 and a half years of experience at Sutherland Elementary, a secretary, Susan Pulley. And from Sutherland Elementary, a fourth grade teacher with 17 years of experience, Helen B. Richardson. Folks, the people mentioned at the 2022 retirees have over 500 years of service. In fact, combined a total of 576 years of service between them. So how about a big round of applause for our retirees? Ms. Arnett? Sherry, anything?
I think she's in her office working.
Oh, yeah. There we go. Miss Branch will accept this. Make sure she gets it.
She's hard at work.
Yes. Miss Booth? Loretta Booth?
Probably still on the bus.
Pat Harrell? Susan Pulley? Sherry Mellick?
That's Merrill.
And Delphine? Delphine Lewis? Mr. Golson? He would have talked about fishing, so I was pretty sure I didn't see him come in. And Mr. Cooper?
Mr. Coleman. Mr. Cooper.
He was at our retirement dinner. James Coleman. James Coleman. Okay? Carrie Apey? And we'll make sure that they get all of these. And if you got an award, we also have a certificate for you that I'll give you after the recognition. We'll give them to you out there in the hallway. Student board member recognitions. Well, I don't have anything, but I can tell you something.
No, I am. No, it's me.
Oh, yes, ma'am, it's you.
I'm ready. Thank you. So a couple of years ago, we, the board and I talked about, we really would benefit by listening to young people more, and having their voice present when we have board meetings and the like. And fortunately for us, we were able to find two fine candidates who emerged from many people who were interested in serving in that capacity. Little did they know they would be with us 2 years. Because of the pandemic, we stuck together a little longer than we had anticipated. But tonight we have Claire here. So Jamaica Weaver and Claire Culbreath have been serving in that capacity as school board representatives for the past 2 years. And just so you know, I just want to tell you a little bit about these ladies. They have been just so instrumental in a lot of ways. I think the first year we spent a lot of time like on Zoom and on Google Meets, and we just talked about things about what would make the school better, what would make the school district better, what would make people want to come to school here, what's the best part of coming to school, what would you like me to know, what are your friends would like me to know. So we spent a lot of time we talked about mental health a lot with young people and what's weighing on people's minds, especially as they were going through the pandemic. And then they kind of helped me to navigate through that process. And I'm just so grateful that I had these two minds at the table. And they even, from that group, they wanted to talk about the dress code for the high school students. And they spent a year organizing a student advisory committee and working with me and working with Mr. Barnes and the rest of the principals and put together the revision or the newly adopted dress code. Yes, thank you. Dress code. And so they're leaving behind a legacy. I think now you've got big shoes now that everybody's got to come up with what's going to be their project. How are they going to leave Dinwiddie County Public Schools better than they found it? And so I just want to publicly say to both of them, Jamaica's not here with us this evening, but to Claire especially, she graduated just last Friday, so we're so proud of her. And I just want to say thank you to you for your leadership, for your counsel and your wisdom, and just for your voice and being the voice of the young people. And if you've had the opportunity to sit in our meetings and listen to these ladies speak about school and the like, you know that we have a lot to be proud of here in Dinwiddie County. So I look forward to the people that are going to step into these roles next, but you really, these were the first two. And so I think you've done a fine job. And so, that's my, oh, thank you. Okay. Make sure I have fun there. So on behalf of the school board and myself, we're so proud of you, and we just thank you so much for your leadership these past 2 years. What's next for you?
I'm going to Longwood University and I'm majoring in real estate and marketing.
How about that? And her parents are here this evening. Mr. and Ms. Colbreth are here, so we're happy they're principal, and they work at the high school. We have a high school, and then we have a principal, high school teacher and principal who's well, so it's in the blood.
Yeah.
So we'll have to get you back here to work with us. Who knows, she might end up teaching real estate for us. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Moss, for setting me up for success.
Absolutely, yes, ma'am. Yeah, yours is one spotlight I never mean to steal. So I want to take a little bit of time to recognize some of our scholars, some of our students who have really gone the extra mile academically and are looking forward to the next step in their academic careers. I'd like to start by talking about the VCAN Awards. Now, in our area, the Virginia College Affordability Network, or VCAN, provides qualified students with scholarships to attend Virginia State University. VCAN awards tuition-free freshman years, and that time can expand depending on how that year goes, to students in the program. And this year, we have 11 Dinwiddie High School students will be attending VSU on VCAN scholarships next year. Tonight, 4 of them could join us, and I would ask you to stand when I call your name. Kennedy Bland, Aaliyah Cathy, Jaslyn Howell, and Kayla Willis. I also want to recognize Miss Julia Trachtenberg, who's our college advisor at DHS, who made all this possible. She's right here in the front row. And Julia occupies a position that rotates yearly. But I can tell you, you talk about big shoes. She has done some amazing things for our young people, and so I'm thankful for that. If you are here with any of these young people, here to support them this evening, please stand and just be recognized. At this time, I would like to invite Justin Gregory to come up here to the podium. Justin graduated from DHS on Friday and will soon head to UVA on a full merit scholarship. Justin is just one of 12 students who receive the Relentus, did I say that right? Relentus Scholarship, which is awarded to first in their family college attendees who demonstrate exceptional potential in leadership, scholarship, and citizenship. Justin served as a leader at DHS, in the DHS National Honor Society, SOTA, the RAC Club, the Gay Straight Alliance, the Ruritines, and as president of DECA. He was an active member of the sideline and competition cheerleading teams, the track team, and the tennis team. As a recipient of the scholarship, Justin will also have access to enrichment programs like networking, outdoor challenges, leadership speakers, and travel abroad. Ladies and gentlemen, another big round of applause for Justin Gregory. And Justin, anyone here with you tonight? Okay, so if you're here with Justin, please rise and be recognized. With us tonight, we have two students who earned their associate degrees while also completing their graduation requirements at Dinwiddie High School. I'd like to invite Chase Cousins to come up with me. Chase received his associate's degree from John Tyler Becoming Brightpoint Community College. He is a four-year All-Academic Award winner, is a Sergeant at Arms for the senior class, SCA Treasurer, and member of the National Honor Society, and is certified in NIMS, OSHA, and AutoCAD. Chase also holds a certification in precision machining from JTCC, where he was inducted into their honor society. Chase is also the only member of the class of 2022 with perfect attendance in grades K through 12. That is 13 years. Chase is currently working for Baylor Construction, and this fall he will attend Eastern Kentucky University, where he plans to major in occupational safety. Chase, do you have anyone here with you would like recognized tonight?
Yes, sir, I do. My mother and father sitting right here, Miss Gibbs and Mr. Bevel. And one more for the excellent principal that we have at Dinwiddie High School, Mr. Garnes.
Could I have Morgan Dundelow join me up here, please? Morgan received his associate's degree from Richard Bland Community College. While at RBC, Morgan made the dean's list. At DHS, he's a member of the baseball team, in fact, a four-year varsity letterman. He's also participated with the golf team. He's been named a scholar athlete and is a Dinwiddie High School honor student. Outside of school, Morgan volunteers in the music ministry at Western Heights Baptist Church. His future plans are to pursue a master's degree in computer science at Christopher Newport University. Ladies and gentlemen, Morgan Dundelow. And Morgan, do you have anybody with you you'd like to recognize? Stand up, Mom and Dad. Appreciate it. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, truly an opportunity to see some of the great academic things that are happening in our school system and some of the great students who are representing not only our high school but our county to the rest of the world. Thank you so much for your time. I'd like to invite Miss Courtney Massengill to come up to the podium.
Hi. The first project I'd like to introduce is our celebration of poets. These students entered Creative Communication, a celebration of writers poetry contest out of Utah. Only the best poems were selected to be published in their anthology, A Celebration of Poets. This is not a contest where every entry is invited to be published. This list of students that have been selected to be published represents a lot of talent, hard work, and dedication. We also have the distinguished honor of being recognized in the anthology as receiving a Writing Achievement Award. This honor is given to the top 10% of the schools that enter the contest, and schools are chosen based on the number and quality of the entries accepted. The students chosen to be published in the anthology, A Celebration of Poets, are as follows. Please come forward when I call your name. Ryder Gonzalez, 6th grade, Small Moment of Life. Peyton Mann, 6th grade, The Monkey. Jocelyn Brown, 7th grade, The Boy in a Shadow. Stephen Ankiel, 7th grade, We Love You Baseball. Brandy Wolf, 7th grade, The Lonely Girl. Charlotte Barnes, 7th grade, The Butterfly Effect. Cora Wolfick, 7th grade, Drip Drip. Joel East, 7th grade, The Baseball Mishap. Gracie Hayes, 7th grade, If I Could Fly. Abraham Salazar, 9th grade, My Emptiness. Desiree Tabor, 9th grade, Like It or Not. Mariah Thompson, 9th grade, School. Kendall Gordon, 9th grade, Changes. Caleb Sessoms, 9th grade, Soccer. And Tristan Boo, 9th grade, The Pitcher. These are these students. My second project is Project POTUS. My 6th and 7th grade students entered a national competition named Project POTUS. Project POTUS 46 and 45 is a national contest where students entered a 1-minute documentary featuring the president of their choice. Students had to research, answer questions, cooperate within groups, develop a timeline, and create their documentaries using our library's green screen. Some facts about this contest. They received 172 video submissions. There were 78 citizen jurors and 18 states participated. 2 of our videos were selected as winners. Please come forward when I call your name. Grover Cleveland was presented by Roger Franzisian, Eleanor Rice, and Jacob Collins. And George W. Bush was presented by Grace Zing, Gracie Hayes, and Cora Wolfick. Let's give them one more round of applause.
Thank you.
Mr. Garnes, the microphone is yours.
All right, good afternoon, Board Chair Haney, remaining board members, Dr. Weston, Ms. Golson, and Ms. Claire Colbert, and everyone here tonight. Let me say this before I begin my presentation. I am very proud of all of my students from Dinwiddie High School. Give them a round of applause. And just so you know, I was here for all of you. I was just too tired to stand. So I was just too tired. I'm here to recognize 2 special individuals, and this award is very, very important to me. And I get excited every year to present this award. I'm going to ask Mr. Atkins to come up here and help me with this. The DHS Hands-On Award. One thing we understand at Dinwiddie High School, we understand the importance of all individuals and the roles that they play to support us and our students. So I just want to start off with this first individual. This first individual did work in our school, actually, and they served beyond their title. This individual helped us during textbook distribution during the pandemic. They also helped to stuff envelopes. They also helped us to find another person for the position, and also helped this person, this new individual, when they started this position. And even though this person was a maintenance technician, they even served in the main office when we needed this person. So I am very proud to present Mr. Mark Mobley with the 2022 DHS Hands-On Award. And I did have to lie to him to get him here.
Thank you, Mr. Goss.
We really appreciate that. This next individual plays a very vital role with our students. She pushes our students, and she helps our students have successful interview opportunities. She works with our students. You will also think that this individual has an office in our school, but she does not. But she's always there. Students know her. Her role is valuable, vital, and viable to our school. And her work does not go unnoticed. She has helped so many of our students obtain work, and we appreciate it because it matters. And it matters to our students and their families. This next person we would like to present, Chief Don Cater, whom I also lied to get here. Thank you.
I'm very pleased to say that we were able to hear our board members, and we made sure that they got to make their comments while the room still had the people in it about whom they wanted to comment. So at this time, I'd like to turn it over to our board, and then following their comments, if everyone who received an award would please join me outside. And we might be a little bit loud tonight because there are a lot of us, but I want to get a picture of everybody so we can make sure we include that. But without further ado, board, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we'd like to go ahead and go through board comments.
I just want to say good evening and congratulations to all honorees and retirees as well. And like Mr. Garnes, I'm here for everybody that was honored tonight. Congratulations.
Good evening to everyone. Congratulations. Thank you. Ms. Haney?
I would like to also thank all the retirees for all their work that they have put in all these years, and we deeply appreciate all y'all have done. I want to also congratulate all the honors that we have gotten. Justin Gregory, I mean, full ride to UVA, that is amazing. The kindergarten through 12th grade attendance, perfect attendance, amazing. I mean, we've had a lot of children that have done an awful lot of things for us here in the county. And I'm glad we were able to recognize them all. I know the gifted program, Ms. Massengill has been working hard with that. It's totally different from when we were in school, when we first started teaching school, but they've done a tremendous job. And I just want to congratulate everyone that has won all these awards tonight. Ms. Pittman.
I so admire the students that have that extra drive and determination to go for extra degrees, fill out the application for scholarships, all of the extra courses, extra time. It takes time and effort, and you can get where you want to go if you will put in the effort. And I so admire the students that have done that and are on their way to so much success. The Writing Achievement Awards, those are very, very special. Your writing abilities are going to assist you through the rest of your journey to wherever it is that you're attending school or whatever training you're going into. And those who are retiring, we will miss you. Every time a retiree goes out the door, all that experience and knowledge is hard to replace. So thank you so much.
I would just like to congratulate all the retirees and the recipients. Each award is well deserved, and definitely, like she said, the retirees, we're gonna miss your knowledge and the backgrounds that y'all shared with everyone. We definitely appreciate it. And students, thanks for all the hard work. And I also like to recognize the 2022 graduates. That they too have done an excellent job. Thank everyone.
Well, now that y'all have finally gotten to hear what we have to say about y'all, you can go out. We'll take a little bit of a break, and you can go out and have pictures taken. But thank you all so very much.
Yes.
Okay, we'll go ahead and start back up. Approval for the personnel list.
Madam Chair, I move that we accept the personnel list as presented.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the personnel list as presented. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Dr. Weston
yes.
has to make a few
Thank
comments.
you, and thank you, Ms. Haney. It's that time of year where everybody starts to talk about who's going where and what's going to happen. It happens in every single school system. So tonight, I would like to introduce to you some of our newest leaders. Some are going to be our leaders that have been in places, but are going to be in new places. And you'll continue to hear this as the summer goes on. So I just want to go ahead and introduce a couple of folks to you right now. So I have recommended to the board, and he has graciously accepted that I'm going to be transferring Mr. Brenton Bird. If you could stand, Mr. Bird. He's going to be the newest leader at the Dinwiddie Middle School. We're so happy that he's going there. Let me remind you a little bit about him. Everybody loves Mr. Bird, so okay. So Mr. Bird has a degree in health and physical education from the Virginia Commonwealth University. He also has a degree in counseling from Norfolk State University. He also has a degree in education leadership and policy studies from Virginia Tech. He's currently working on diversity, inclusion, equity, and belonging certification. I mean, the man, I don't think you sleep, do you? So he does a lot of things. So for the past 4 years, he's been the principal, one of our leaders here in the district at Sunnyside Elementary School, and has done a wonderful job leading that team over there. Prior to that, he worked in Newport News Schools, and and through my connections there, did a fabulous job leading in that area as well. And so I cannot wait to see what he and his team will do in this new role at Dinwiddie Middle School. And I think he has his wife with you. So we have Mrs. Brenton Bird. That's how the kids always call her. So Mrs. Brenton Bird is here as well. And if we can find a seat for you too if you would like to talk to us. She's a high school counselor. I'd also like to introduce to you the principal, the newest principal at Sutherland Elementary School, Ms. Javonda Tucker. How did I know she was going to wear red? I knew she would wear red.
Big fan.
So let me tell you a little bit about Ms. Tucker. She has been working at the middle school since arriving here. She has served both as a special education teacher and a middle school assistant principal. She also has experience working as a special education teacher in Hopewell. She had did some work in the private sector as well. I know she looks like she's a student, but she does. I know I had to check to make sure she had a driver's license because she really does. She does have a very interesting background as well. She has a bachelor's degree from the Virginia State University in criminal justice, which I think is an interesting degree. And she has a Master of Science in criminal justice from Virginia Commonwealth University. And then she has her Master's of Education in Educational Administration, graduating magna cum laude. Lottie, that's awesome, isn't it? And so we're so happy that she has agreed and accepted to be the new principal at Sutherland Elementary School. And I think she has some people with her this evening as well.
My son, my best friend, and my mom.
Oh, welcome. And if you noticed, her son was the biggest cheerleader. You saw how happy he was. I don't know if he's happy she's not going to be the assistant principal at his school anymore, or happy that she's. Well, we'll talk later. Okay. I'd also like to introduce the new principal at Dinwiddie Elementary School, Miss Leanne Adams, and she's here with us this evening. So Mrs. Adams has been in Dinwiddie County her entire life. She actually went to Midway and graduated from Dinwiddie High School. I will not put the year of that on there for you, but it's been a long time. She's been with us a long time. Her children went through our school system as well. She has a bachelor's in music education, very talented musician, and she has a master's of science from Radford University in leadership. She's been one of our music teachers for a very long time, serving in lots of different schools. And honestly, We'd asked her several years ago to go and intern over at Midway Elementary School for us, and she stepped right up and did that for us. And then she's been at the middle school ever since. And so we're so happy that she's agreed to be the new principal at Dinwiddie Elementary School. All right. I'd like to introduce to you, I'm excited about this one, Natanya Robinson Williams. She's here with us this evening. Yes. All right. We're going to be joined at the hip, and Mr. Moss is going to be so happy you're here. Ms. Robinson Williams has accepted the position as the coordinator of community and media relations. She has a bachelor's in marketing degree, and she's been working as one of our marketing teachers for quite some time now at the high school. And she's currently working on a master's degree in Christian education, and we all certainly could use that. That's awesome. She has been, I think, for about 13 years, been the marketing teacher, but she's also worked as a marketing specialist at a public library, as well as, I believe, in the Girl Scouts at some time as well. And then she also worked as an information technology program instructor. She's got a really, really neat background. So, Mr. Moss, you're really smiling, aren't you? Because look who.
A lot of passwords for you.
So I'm so happy that we'll get to work together, and I'm looking forward to the things we'll get to do. I get to learn from you and to work alongside you. So join me in welcoming her. Thank you. And he's not here this evening, but I just want to let you know that Mr. Richard Spence will be going to work at the middle school, and he's very happy to serve in that capacity. And Mr. Spence has also been with Dinwiddie County Public Schools for some time. He's got a degree from James Madison University, from Virginia State University, and he also was a member of the American Army National Guard. He has a special ed background as well as a working in the private sector as well. And he's so excited to go back to the middle school where he started and to work alongside Mr. Bird. So he will be doing that as well. And so that's all of the introduction. Oh, is your family here with you, Miss? Oh, well, please stand up. I apologize. I just made an assumption because, okay, please do. Oh, wait. Oh, my gracious. Well, I was just teasing Emily. I said, "There's the choir. That's like the choir over there." So welcome, and thank you for sharing her with us. I'm so happy to work with her, and I look forward to this new opportunity with her. So please forgive me. I'm sorry. Blame it on my head, not my heart. Sorry about that. Thank you. That's all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Well, we're looking forward to all the new changes next year.
Yes.
And it's going to be a short summer, so y'all going to be starting early.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. Expenditure reports.
Madam Chair, I move that we accept the expenditure report as presented.
Second.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded to accept the expenditure reports as presented. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. The minutes.
Madam Chair, I move that we accept the minutes from May 10th and May 24th, 2022.
Second.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded to accept the minutes from May 10th and May 24th of 2022. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Board matters. We have State FFA Convention at Virginia Tech in Blacksburg.
How are y'all? I'm going to invite Laurel Bishop, our FFA teacher, to present these trips.
Okay.
So our first trip is for the State FFA Convention held annually at Virginia Tech in Blacksburg. It is the last week of June. Last year we had an abbreviated convention. It was a one-day. This year we're back to our normal overnight, 3-night, 4-day trip. Students will stay in the dorms on campus, eat in the dining hall. We are requesting use of a bus. Mr. Davis, one of our other advisors, has a CDL and will drive the bus for us. We do require board approval because it's over 50 miles and overnight.
And you don't know how many kids yet are going?
We have 8 students. We have 2 teams competing. We have 1 student running for State FFA office. So 8 students and 3 adults.
Okay. Any other questions?
Madam Chair, I move that we approve the FFA state convention.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the state FFA convention field trip. All those in favor? Aye. Okay, thank you. And before we go to the next one, if the parents want to leave, or, y'all welcome to. We'll take a little bit of a break. You're welcome to stay for the whole thing, but if y'all would like to go, you
And celebrate.
can. Yeah, celebrate some. Uh-huh.
Thank you.
Anybody else that might want to go, you may go.
That's a big family, isn't it? Nice they all came out. How did the event after the banquet go with everybody, the lock-in that you did?
We were all very tired
I
Saturday
bet you
morning.
were. We used to do this at church. I couldn't believe you were going to do that. It's amazing.
The adults all realized we were not as young as we used to be.
Yes.
Okay, now the national convention?
So our next one, we'd like to go ahead and put in our trip to National Convention. This is in Indianapolis, Indiana. It is at the end of October. We've been going for a number of years. We would request permission to go again. While we are there, students attend sessions with keynote speakers. They will go through the College and Career Expo. We will attempt to get in on days of service, but that's a hot commodity item, and the tickets normally go very quickly. Hopefully, if our students do well at the state convention, they'll be competing at nationals as well. We just won't know that until the end of June. This is overnight and out of state. A substitute will be required for 4 days for 2 advisors. We, in the past, have flown and taken the bus. We would like permission to explore both. Last year we flew because the bus ended up being canceled, and the students really enjoyed flying. Most of them had not had the opportunity to fly before, so that was kind of a neat first experience for them. So we'd like the opportunity to explore that as well. If we go ahead and get approval now, students can work on fundraising for a longer period of time than waiting until the fall to ask permission.
Okay, any questions from anyone?
No. Madam Chair, I move that we accept the request coming from Ms. Bishop to the National FFA Convention in Indianapolis this fall.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the National FFA Convention field trip. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. And one more.
This is my last
FFA
one.
retreat.
This is for our FFA officer retreat. We take our student officers for 3 days in the summer. We have a student whose family owns a house on Lake Gaston, so we go down and stay for 3 days for the students to kind of plan out the year, plan our activities, set some goals and things like that. We are requesting use of the activity bus. It's just over 50 miles, but it is overnight, so we do require board approval for that one as well. And that's just 6 students.
Okay,
Madam Chair, I move that we accept the FFA retreat proposal.
Second.
okay. It's been moved and seconded to approve the FFA retreat proposal for a field trip. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. All right.
Thank you so much.
Ms. Bishop, just in case you leave before we're done, good job on the FFA banquet.
Yeah, that was great.
Yes.
Very nice.
Thank you. The kids did a good job.
Yes, they did.
They did.
All right, the next trip is a wrestling team camp at Roanoke College. The team would go by activity bus. Right now they have 8 students signed up. It is a team camp, so they'll wrestle, they'll meet with the coaches, maybe get involved in a couple clinics, and then it will be overnight. So we're requesting, because it's over 50 miles and overnight, that the wrestling team would be able to go.
Madam Chair, I request that we approve that camp.
Second.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded to approve the varsity wrestling team camp to Roanoke College. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right, next.
DHS cheer team, sideline cheer team would like to request to go back to the Great Wolf Lodge. One of the bigger names in the cheer community is Varsity. Varsity is hosting another cheer camp at the Great Wolf Lodge, where our cheerleaders would receive clinics, learn cheers, learn routines, and then the last day they would have a little competition with the teams that are there. This is overnight. We would be requesting a school bus just like last year to take them.
Okay, any questions?
Madam Chair, I move that we approve the varsity cheer camp to Great Wolf Lodge.
Second.
Okay. Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the varsity cheer camp to Great Wolf Lodge. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Okay, the ESSA grants, consolidated grants.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Board Chair, Vice Chair, School Board members, and Dr. Weston. I am presenting to you all the consolidated 22-23 consolidated grant proposal. Our grant proposal consists of our title grants. Wait until it catches up. So if you all recall from last year, it seems so long ago, but on last year, we did include in our consolidated grant titles 1, 2, and 3. This year, we are including Title 4 with that grant proposal. And so our Title 1, the focus is on reading remediation. At this time, we have 4 school-wide schools that are receiving services through the Title 1 grant. We also have Title 2, which focuses on teacher quality. Title III are English language learners, and Title IV supports our student support and academic enrichment grant. As you see here, one of the things that we focused on before with Title IV has been STEAM. But this year we're making some changes to that we're going to talk about a little bit later. And so for Title I, currently our English language arts services at our 4 school-wide schools include Sutherland Elementary, where there are 2 Title I teachers, 1 reading specialist, 1 PALS tutor. The same for Southside Elementary. That includes, again, 2 Title I teachers, 1 reading specialist, and a PALS tutor. At Sunnyside Elementary School, supported from the grant, includes a Title I teacher, reading specialist, and PALS tutor. At Dinwiddie Elementary, the same, a Title I teacher, a reading specialist, and a PALS tutor. For the division, the grant supports 1 literacy interventionist and 1 family engagement specialist. In total, with our Title I grant, there are 8 federally funded positions with Title I. For the upcoming school year, the grant that's being submitted is based on level funding of $840,000, $57.17. However, we do anticipate an increase in funding. So if we do get the increase in funding, it will be used for the expansion of the reading support. Ms. Hannon has discussed with the team to provide targeted assistance to the middle school if we have that increase in funding. The grant, the Title I grant or the title grants, for the grants and for the focus for the grants, we had to conduct a needs assessment, and Ms. Drake, I don't know if she's still here. She's still here. Ms. Drake did a needs assessment as a part of her position with the parents. And from that needs assessment, it highlighted the following, and these are some of the things that we want to focus on as we move into the 22-23 school year. The in-person parent workshops, and she's done a great job this year with those workshops. Continued webinars and family engagement and parent supports, summer family literacy and learning workshops, the expansion of remedial services at our schools, also for L translation for parents and student services. One of the things that we know for the grant is that the funding must be tied directly back to the needs assessment. And at the end of the presentation, there will be a QR code so that you all will have an opportunity to see that needs assessment that was done. Title II focuses on teacher quality. For the Title II grant, the anticipated funding is $136,000. Program highlights, and as we move forward, some of the things that the focus will continue to be for that grant include teacher professional development. We want to start bringing presenters in to, that includes outside presenters, conferences, registrations, travel. The Summer Institute comes from that. Also, the Visible Learning Conference that a team will be attending this summer. And then also the Morning Meeting Initiative that we're going to talk about with Title IV. It also includes the support and funding for our new and novice teachers, our mentor stipends, course reimbursement, and teacher quality support, the Ed Connect software, assessment fees, and recruitment and registration and travel. Title III, which focus on our English language learners, are our ALs. Give me 1 second. Okay. The anticipated funding for that is a little over $11,000. The focus for the Title III grant is on literacy. Literacy, Ms. Brooks has shared that literacy is the major instructional focus for our AL learners, specifically reading fluency, reading comprehension, and sentence fluency. But I'll share that as a team, the focus for the school year is on literacy and building those relationships with our families. The priorities for the Title III grant include ensuring teachers and staff have the resources, knowledge, and skills required to effectively support our ALS learners, ensure that our ALS students are reading on or above grade level before entering third grade, expand effective communication and relationships with parents and community, and also to provide professional development. And our Title IV grant, which again, we are including our Title IV in the consolidation this year. We are anticipating leveled funding, which is a little over $60,000. One of the things that we did this year is we transferred some of those funds into Title II because we see all the things that Title II does support. So we transferred $35,000 of the Title IV into Title II. For the remainder of the funds for Title IV, we want to focus on our division-wide initiative of morning meetings. And morning meetings is something that we want to embark on to support our students, to help build those relationships. And it is a part of our responsive classroom practices and strategies. And responsive classrooms is one of those professional developments that we're going to be bringing to the division. And finally, there is the QR code to the needs assessment that was done. Are there any questions?
When will you find out about the funding changes, if they're going to be larger or smaller?
So the application has to be submitted as it is written, and then typically later in September or beginning September, we would find out if there are changes to the funding.
Madam Chair, our director does such a good job presenting her report each year. So I move that we accept. I think we need board action with this.
We do. We do need action
accept the
to
report
accept.
coming from Dr. Joyner.
Yes.
Okay.
A second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to approve the 21-22 ESSA consolidated grant recommendations. Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Right.
Okay.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Okay, the human resources update.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm coming with an update to our leave policies. The first one I'm going to go over is the Plan 1 and Plan 2 employees. They are under VRS. The first change we have for that report In the first paragraph, we've always practiced the employees must report to work each year before we accumulate their leave, but we never had it in writing, so we've added that in that first sentence up top. And then the next change to this policy would come under the accumulated sick leave down on number 3. Currently, we use, under bereavement, have them use sick leave for 5 days. We are proposing to no longer have them to use their sick leave for bereavement, and we're going to add that down lower in there, and I'll discuss that change when we get to that. So we're going to take that out of the accumulated sick leave. And then on page 2, down at the bottom for adjustments, we just put in how we would change how their leave would accumulate during the year if they were to leave earlier based on hours and things like that. Presently, we've always adjusted by months they didn't work, but we didn't have it in writing. We wanted it in writing so everybody could see it up front. The next change would be on page 3 under the personal leave. Down at the last paragraph, they had a thing about drivers being terminated, not eligible to receive benefits. That's been changed, but it was never taken out the regulation, so we're going to remove that now. And then also, while we're under personal leave, in reviewing other policies that other locations did, we picked up, they reward their 10, 10 and a half, and 11-month employees with additional personal leave on their 5-year anniversary dates. And we thought that would be a good idea to start doing for ours. So starting July 1st, 2022, under personal leave, anyone that has 5 years of service award, we will give them an extra half day of personal leave for that year. And then the next step, once they get to 10 and 15, they would get an additional 1 personal day. After 20 and 25 years, they would get an additional 1.5 personal days. 30 to 35 years, they would get 2 additional personal days. And if they were with us through 40 and 45 years, they would get up to 3 additional personal days, in addition to the 2 that everyone will receive each year. These personal leave awards will be added in the month of September when we accrue their leave, and those employees will be notified of the extra days they have for that year. Under vacation, we're changing the line. Currently, it said full-time contracted 12-month employees will accrue vacation. It will now say full-time contracted 12-month employees, excluding 12-month teachers hired after July 1st, 2016, are eligible to earn vacation as follows. And then the years of service will change from 0 to 4 for 1 day, 5 to 9 for 1.25, 10 to 14 for 1.5 days, and 15 or more for 1.75 days. And we wanted to get away from the 12-month teachers accumulating vacation, but we don't want to punish the ones we already had that were accumulating. So that's why we put in the date of the higher date there. And then under that, we had a formula for how people would start accumulating vacation times. We've decided that they all, once they become 12-month employees, they should all start back from ground zero. So they would start with just like a new person coming into the system with earning 1 day a month. And one of the reasons was because a lot of the holidays they will get throughout the year will also add to the time they will have off. The next change we wanted to add in was at the end, where any balance remaining after June 30th will be converted to sick leave. Before it was up to the superintendent to make a decision. Now we're just going to go ahead and roll it over to their sick leave if they have more than 30 days.
Repeat that now. So if they have more than 30 days.
If they have more than 30 days at the end of June, instead of losing vacation time, we'll roll it over to their sick leave.
Sick leave.
And we also have taken out that note about the bus and car drivers again not being paid out if they terminated, because that had been changed. Under holidays, We added that all employees, what we've added there was we take granted holidays, but all employees of Dinwiddie County Public Schools are grounded on average 20 days per year in accordance with the adopted school calendar. Then as we get down under other leave types, this is where we added.
I'm sorry, can we go back to holidays? So are we changing, like, right now, some 12-month people, they get the 2 weeks at Christmas, but sometimes we've done Easter differently.
Easter is still
I mean,
the same.
spring.
Still the same.
Easter, spring break is only the week off for,
Everybody but 12
everybody
months.
but
12 months
If
get
they
that
take
Monday.
vacation,
And if
get
we,
that Monday only.
Okay,
So
so
we're not
that will be
changing that.
standard and it'll
That's correct.
remain that way.
That's
yes,
correct.
ma'am.
But the 2 weeks at
Still
Christmas
Christmas is the same.
is they get that,
The rest
okay,
are the same. And that's why it says on average 20 days. We added it with that.
okay. Thank you.
Then the next one on bottom 4 is where we added in the new bereavement leave policy. This is in the death of an immediate family member. Contracted employees may receive up to 3 consecutive bereavement days per occurrence. Immediate family includes spouse, children, parents, grandparents, grandchildren, siblings, daughter-in-law, son-in-law, parent-in-law, brother-in-law, and sister-in-law. Documentation including the relationship of the deceased may be required upon request. This leave must be taken immediately after the occurrence. Other accumulated leave may be used to supplement bereavement leave as necessary. So we will be giving everyone 3 bereavement days that will not count against any of their accumulated leave that they have now. And this is kind of in accordance with what other localities are doing around us.
So they could get the 3 days after the death, and then if they needed more, they would take it out of
They
their.
can take it out their personal or sick leave. Under professional leave, this has always been a practice, but it's never been in writing, so we wanted to get it in there. Professional development must be appropriate to the person's job assignment and made in good judgment, considering current organizational needs. Attendees should be willing to provide a report of their takeaways immediately afterwards. And usually we have good luck with that, so that's nothing new. It's just never been in writing. We're just putting it in there now for clarification. And then the only other change for the Plan 1 and Plan 2 is on page 7 under termination. We're taking out that first sentence that says it looks like it was in there by mistake because it just ends in the event of an employee terminating employment before front-loaded sick leave days are earned. We're just taking that out because it doesn't need to be there.
So when a teacher starts, are there 10 days front-loaded or they're earning 1 a month?
They are front-loaded.
Front-loaded.
So once they report to work, we
They have
front-load them that first month that they're there, and they can start using them that month. But it's in there, if they leave early, then we will prorate back to the days they actually worked. The other leave policy is for our hybrid employees. The changes are basically the same. We did have a little change in the accumulated sick leave portion of that, where we've raised the amount of days that they can accumulate to 90. It was originally 60. But as more people are hired and they're new, they'll be going on this plan. So we don't want to discourage them from coming here. That gives them more time. And the maximum number, so since we've raised that to 90, the maximum number one could transfer in, we raised from 60 to 90 also. And then we also changed their payout where they can get paid up to 90 days, and then change the section of the sick leave balance to reflect like it is in Plan 1 and Plan 2 for the additional days. The reason hybrid is capped at 90 is those employees that are on the hybrid plan, their sick leave can be handled different because under state law, if they're out for accumulated time, they're furnished after they've been here a year, a short-term disability policy where they can receive up to 60% of their salary after year 1 for approved disability. So we would have to pay them and they wouldn't have to use as much of their sick leave during that time while they're out.
Any questions?
I like the changes that you made, especially they don't have to use the accumulated sick leave for bereavement and the incentive at anniversary date.
And just so, these are really effective July 1st, 2022, and they will be going forward. We will not retroactive anything.
Good. Okay. Do I have a motion to approve?
Madam Chair, I move that we approve the leave regulations update as presented.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the leave regulations update as presented. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay,
Thank you.
All right, the next one.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm here to ask for you to approve the 5-year local plan for the education of the gifted. The major difference between this plan and the former plan is that we are incorporating a gifted fine arts program. So artistically and musically talented students in grades 4 through 8 can be nominated by teachers, parents, guardians, peers, community members, or him or herself. Once nominated, a county-based committee will look at data, which could include a parent survey, a teacher survey, rating scale, student portfolio. We will have an adjudication once in the fall, once in the spring, observe student artwork or music performance. Students identified as gifted in visual or performing arts will receive differentiation in the regular art or music class and participate in quarterly center-based program. The identified center-based students will travel to Dinwiddie Elementary School, based on space, once per quarter for a day of special designated lessons that challenge the advanced artistically or musically talented students. This could include guest speakers, artists, performers, virtual field trips, etc. So the identified visual and performing arts gifted students in grades 6 through 8 would spend a half day with the designated art or music teacher once per quarter. This teacher would also have special designated lessons that challenge the gifted students, which could include, similar to elementary, guest speakers, artists, performers, virtual field trips, etc. For the new gifted visual and performing arts program, one elementary art teacher and one elementary music teacher would need a substitute 1 day per quarter to free him or her to work with the identified virtual and performing arts gifted elementary students. Same thing with the middle school. The middle school art teacher and music teacher would need that substitute 1 day per quarter to work with the middle school students who are identified for visual and performing arts. This would allow the identified gifted students in visual and performing arts the opportunity to work with talented peers during their center-based program, thus enhancing their creative reasoning skills and imaginative expression. So the only other major change in the gifted plan is the referral timeline for academically gifted elementary students. It will now be from September through January, whereas in the past, it had been the month of October and the month of February. These are the major plan changes to the current plan. Any questions?
Ms. Powell, would a student have to decide whether they were going to be in the artistic gifted and intellectually gifted, or could they be in both?
We haven't discussed that. I've kind of tossed that idea around a little bit. I think just like ARGs, they would have to choose one or the other, so they're not away from the general ed classroom too much
Twice.
time. Right.
Okay.
sounds like a real good program, for our elementary students. And I think it's a program we should have. I mean, we should definitely try it, to get started with it, to implement it. And I would like to make a move that we do that, Madam Chair, that we accept this the gifted program coming from Ms. Powell.
And before we get a second, just as a matter of discussion for long-term planning, I know we have choral music in elementary school. There, for this particular thing, for a while, it might be students who have instruction in musical instruments privately. And so I say that to say I really would like us to consider long-term to getting back to having musical instrument instructions in the 5th grade elementary like we did some years ago. Because what happens is it got cut in budget cuts 25 years ago. But they've never played an instrument until they get to the 6th.
Well, now they're doing, in addition to the recorder,
Yeah.
they started the keyboard, the piano.
Okay.
And ukuleles.
And the
ukulele.
ukulele, that's right.
And
At what grade?
In
Band.
elementary school.
In elementary.
And 5th grade band would be a wonderful thing to return to when we could afford it. But because what's happening is it takes them too long to develop when they get to middle school, and then therefore it has over long term affected our high school band.
That's right.
Yeah.
So anyway,
that's a
but I
great point.
think this is a wonderful route to go. Thank you. So I second the motion.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded to approve the local plan for the education of the gifted program with the elementary school. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, the capital improvements, HVAC approach.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I need approval to purchase 4 air-cooled chillers for our HVAC systems to replace the ones at Dinwiddie Elementary, Midway, and Dinwiddie Middle School. We need to purchase them now because, there's a supply chain issue, and it could take us up to 40 weeks to get these. So I believe the plan is to install them next summer. So if we get them purchased now, we should have them in time to meet that deadline.
And we've already purchased the Southside Historic. And
This
we already
is-
purchased
Yes, we
the.
did.
Yes, ma'am, this is a different project altogether. And the cost of these 4 chillers is going to be $569,945.
That's a lot of chilling.
It's a lot of chilling.
We got a lot of space to cover.
Yeah.
Yep. And hopefully we'll get it.
Madam Chair, I move we accept the proposal for the chillers, HVAC approach.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the capital improvement for HVAC approach for the chillers in the 4 schools. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, thank you. School Nutrition Fund.
Good afternoon, everyone. School
afternoon.
Board, Dr. Weston. I'm here before you to request a supplemental appropriation for our school nutrition funds for our existing budget. School nutrition services has seen a challenging year this year. The rising costs, the high cost of school food, the supply chain issues, and personnel issues have impacted their budget. By law, we cannot spend more than what has been appropriated in the budget. And just in the last month, I met with Ms. Elder, and looking at what we spent for food in April, which was paid in May, and food that will be paid in June for May and June, we need to increase our budget. We have plenty of funds on the revenue side to cover the costs because we are being reimbursed at a higher rate. I mean, the food service budget is actually doing really well. However, this is kind of a housekeeping issue that where we must have appropriated those funds in order to pay the bills later this month. So what we're asking is that we increase their budget by $250,000. And then I will also have to forward this to the Board of Supervisors for their approval as well as a housekeeping issue. So I ask for your approval. I'd be glad to answer any questions about some of these costs. And then Ms. Elder is here to she could add anything that you would need to know on that as well.
I totally understand the additional cost, but where is this money coming from?
Oh, we already have the money. The revenue is there.
just
We've
need to put it in the
received
right
it
pot.
with our federal reimbursements.
Okay.
It's so it's sitting in the quote unquote checking account. We just can't write the checks because we'll exceed what the school board budget says we can spend.
Okay.
Madam Chair, I move that we accept this supplemental appropriation of the funds.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the supplemental appropriation for the school nutrition fund. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you very much.
Tag team.
I'm back again.
Okay.
I'm going to ask for approval for our school nutrition bids. We, as you know, we have to feed all these children, and it costs a lot of money. So what we have done, we are part of the Southside Co-op, so we get the pricing breaks, because all these schools are in there. But even with that pricing break and using some other cooperative procurement methods, we estimate our total fee, next year for food, supplies, and chemicals to keep everything running to be approximately $1 million. And if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them, and so will Miss Elder is here. She will be able to answer these as well.
Exotic mushrooms. What's Rudy's exotic mushrooms?
Well, Miss Elder, we've introduced a few extra, some new fruits and vegetables in
you
there.
might want to come explain that one.
Kids eat mushrooms?
Yes.
How do you get them
Do
to
you want
eat
to talk a
the
little bit
mushrooms?
about the menu and how that's changed, evolving under your
Yes,
leadership?
good evening, Board Chair, Vice Chair, school board members, everyone here assembled. We have with the $1 million expenditure, we will say that so far, looking at the revenue, it would exceed $1 million. So we will be able to offset that with the revenues that will be coming in because we are CEP division-wide. Although the reimbursements will change just a little bit, but the menu that we're preparing and planning for next school year will attract new participants to come in. We've already brought in some items, and the students are already asking for more. We brought in some fresh vegetables, individually wrapped. We brought in some gourmet bread. They think it's cake, but it's actually whole grain bread. But they're asking for more. And even in my visiting to the schools, one little boy, bless his heart, he walked up to the line and he said, "Oh my God, we got good fruit." So it just blessed my heart. But it's individually wrapped. We brought in kiwi, pineapple, watermelon. We have the combo with snap peas and grape tomatoes. We're bringing in the fat-free ranch dressing. So even with that expenditure, again, the revenues will offset that because more participation will be expected.
So are we in the feed 'em all next year?
Yes,
as well?
ma'am.
Okay.
I just applied again to include the high school. We had to do a separate application last year, but this year I had to go and regroup them, and now everyone is under the same grouping. And I'm waiting approval from DOE to get the actual agreement signed and get it to Dr. Weston.
It's going to be such a shock if we ever have to go back to people paying for these parents. And this is,
I know.
It's been wonderful.
Yes, ma'am.
But I'm telling you, it's going to be culture shock.
And the
if we have
good
to
thing
go
about
back.
CEP is approved for 4 years. So
Okay.
we just have to keep reapplying. As long as we meet the ISP or the identified student population, we can
Right.
continue with this program.
Thank you.
Amazing.
It's just such a nice benefit
Yes.
for families, and it reduces that stigma that
Mhm.
previously was there.
Yes.
I love it. I love the new menu items too. Everybody was bragging about them, and
Thank
Bonnie
you.
brought some in to see. And I have heard that kids do think that's cake.
They do.
I think Mr. Garnes said it was cake.
Tricked them.
I think he said it was cake.
It tastes just like lemon pound cake.
It's like Sally Lund bread or something like that. It's like Sally Lund bread. Is that, yeah.
It's sliced individually wrapped breads. It's cocoa flavor. It's pumpkin bread. It's zucchini bread. It's lemon bread,
Yep.
and it's one more flavor. I can't
is
think
like
of it.
cake.
Kids also enjoyed it just as much.
So, blueberry bread. But it looks like a loaf. It's shaped just like a loaf, a piece of a sliced loaf bread, but it's thicker sliced, but it's whole grain, which makes it
When have you heard Graham
healthy.
talk about the cafeteria?
Better for the
I'll get you all some samples.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to get some in. We're gonna do summer feeding, so I'll try to get some in on the truck with the next delivery, so you all can
That'd
sample.
be great.
But the children love it.
They do.
All right, any other questions? Do I have a motion?
Madam Chair, I move that we approve the school nutrition bill for fiscal year.
second.
I know it is cold.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the school nutrition bids for fiscal year 2022-23. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, any opposed? All right, thank you.
Don't.
And now, you're another
Now-
one
The good news is
now
that
the
the
price
kids
is
don't
going
have
up.
to pay. The not so good news is
For the adult
adults do.
increase.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we will be able to get some adults back in the cafeteria to eat. I have seen an increase as well since the new items have come in. But unfortunately, we have to raise the cost of the adult meals because the student meals and reimbursement cannot subsidize the adult meals. With that, the current breakfast price is $2.30. We need to increase that to $2.35, which includes the 2% reimbursement for severe need because we are in severe need. And then the lunch will increase from $3.85 to $4.05. It would have been $4.02, but in talking to DOE, they said go ahead and raise it to $4.05. Well, we may not have to raise it next year, but that is why I'm presenting this tonight to be in compliance. And if we don't raise it, they will not allow us to participate in the National School Breakfast and Lunch Program because we'll be out of compliance.
All right, any questions? Okay,
Madam Chair, I move that we accept a report coming from our Director of Nutrition. What was it? Adult meal increase.
all right. It's been moved and seconded to approve the adult meal menu increase for next year. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Thank
Mhm.
Ms. Elder's doing that.
All right.
Fabulous job.
New business? None? Okay. Superintendent matters?
Yes, I have, Ms. Lemmy's going to come and provide you with a budget update.
Yes. I have a brief update on the state actually adopted a budget in early June, finally. We've been waiting months for that. We will be bringing an amended budget to you next month for full approval, but I just thought that I would give you just some highlights on what actually came out of the General Assembly's budget. Actually, for Dinwiddie, we fared really well. Comparing the governor's budget, which we adopted, to what it looks like the General Assembly's adopted budget, we gained $28,000. So we didn't lose money. That was great.
Yes.
We didn't gain a whole lot of money as far as comparing apples to apples, but we'll take that as a win. The highlights, the General Assembly did continue with the 5% increase in SOQ positions. The only change there was they made it effective August the 1st, and the governor's budget had made it effective July the 1st. So we lost a little bit of funding there. The governor's budget had included expansion of the early reading initiative, which we refer to as PALS, to 4th and 5th grade, but the General Assembly did remove funding for that. Overall, we received an increase in basic aid of about $528,000, which included additional ESL staffing that they approved. They also finally have approved funding for a principal in every school. So we actually got some funding for some, because some of our schools did not qualify for a full-time principal. And then also an increase in reading specialists. They did reduce the at-risk funding, so we lost about $600,000 there. And then the other major change was they did some sales tax hold harmless, where we gained $300,000. There's some other little changes throughout there, but we made out very well. The other two things that I just want to briefly speak of is it also included $431,902 for the state share of an SOQ $1,000 bonus to be paid next year. That is coming from federal funds on the state's part, and they encourage us to use federal funding to meet the rest of, to be able to supply everybody else with a bonus. And as you know, I believe last month before last, you already approved a $2,000 bonus for all employees. So this will help, go towards funding for that as well. And then the other is school construction. We are going to receive $2.1 million in state school construction funding. That's not part of our school operating budget, but we will be talking about that more to come in the future as well. So again, we're going to be amending the budget based on, a variety of things that have happened since we adopted it, and we'll have all those details for you next month. Anybody have any questions?
I thought alternative ed or at risk was going to be one of the
It was.
highlights.
It was.
Oh, yes, we were receiving a lot of money, but it was 1 year only.
Yeah.
They had raised the per pupil amount for FY23, and then they were cutting it in FY24. So we were going to lose several $100,000 in 24, which didn't make, that didn't make good sense, because, who wants to get money this year and have to turn around and find a way to,
sustain
cut
it.
to sustain it for the next year. So this did, while we did not want to lose $600,000, we, don't like the yo-yo effect either.
But you were able to make it up from other funds.
Yes, because we received additional money in basic aid funding and sales tax.
Which we can use for,
Sales tax will be something we'll need to watch as the year progresses.
And the good news is, as far as like principals and reading specialists, these are positions we already had put in the budget, so that was a benefit to us.
Right. We were already funding those, but
Right.
not receiving any revenue
That's
for
right.
all of that. So now we're
We'd already
receiving the
put a reading
revenue,
specialist
but
in
there's
every
no
school and-
offsetting expenditure.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. More on that next month?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, the next thing that I have is, as you know, we continue to expand our early childhood program, and Ms. Brooks is going to come forward and give you an overview of what it's going to look like moving into the new school year.
Okay.
The only thing standing between you and heat, because Miss Golson is freezing us.
I know.
I know, normally you have on a
Feels good,
sweater and a
Miss
heater.
Golson.
It is a little chilly.
Miss Merritt, aren't you freezing? Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you for hanging in there with us this evening. I did want to tell Mr. Garnes I'm going to talk about the class of 2037 and beyond.
2037.
Think about that.
Let's see.
Are we going to be here?
I was doing the math when he was talking
I'm trying
about
to see who will be still sitting in this room.
maybe Javonda.
Yeah, maybe so.
Okay, so good evening. I just wanted to come back in front of you this evening and do a updated overview of where we are with our early learning programs in Dinwiddie County. Just to recap, in December, I presented where we were with our Virginia Preschool Initiative program, which is Bright Stars. And at that time, 80 students, 4-year-olds only, 4 classes, and 3 schools. And then our early childhood special education students, we have the capability of serving 24 families, which are 2s, 3s, and 4-year-olds with disabilities. And we have that program, 3 classes and 2 schools. Head Start, through the Improvement Association, services 64 students and 4 classes, and they're all located behind Southside Elementary School. And those are 3 and 4-year-olds. Our daycare centers in our community that accept subsidy funding They service over 350 students, and that's in 3 centers, but they have 2s, 3s, 4s, and a large portion of the students they serve are before and after population students, our school-age students. And then lastly, we have our licensed family providers who back in December and currently are still at capacity. And the number of families they service varies depending on the age levels that they have in their homes. So it's hard to believe 6 months later, we began our coordinated recruitment efforts with Head Start for preschoolers, 3 and 4-year-olds, in mid-February. We've had several planning meetings with the Improvement Association. I was kind of hoping they were going to be here this evening, just to kind of maybe add to what I wanted to share. We initially thought about combining our 2 programs with the Improvement Association, Head Start funding, and VPI, Virginia Preschool Initiative, in order to try to place a preschool classroom, at least one, in every elementary building. Once we started down that path, we realized that it was not the path that we were going to be able to take, and that was due to several factors. One of the biggest ones was that their federal program specialist really advised not to blend or braid our funds. They suggested that that was not the best option for us. We had a few reservations because we really wanted to continue to keep highly qualified teachers and staff in all of our elementary schools, especially our 4 Title I schools. The performance standards for Head Start, their qualifications for their staff are different than what we require in our school system. Another one of the things that we discussed with the Improvement Association is for them to consider an alternate location instead of being housed behind Southside. And the reason why we began these discussions is several reasons. One of the biggest ones, well, there's 2 biggest things. One of the biggest ones is transportation. Because we are transporting our youngest learners, our 3 and 4-year-olds, from all corners of the county to Southside. So some of our babies say, I'm a family with a 3-year-old that's zoned Sunnyside. My 3-year-old gets on a bus, travels an hour to Sunnyside, gets off that bus, has to be supervised, put on another bus, then shuttled to Southside, and then reverse in the afternoon. So we really asked the Improvement Association to look throughout our community and our county to see if there's alternate locations, if they could partner with some local churches. Maybe not just one church to house the entire program, but even think about a classroom in each zone, which would help with transportation. So it's really our goal with Dinwiddie County is to just stop shuttling children, period, because of the loss of instructional time and because of just the fact that they're having to go to one building, be moved to another. So what we have been able to do through those discussions, we've asked Head Start, the Improvement Association, to think about hiring a bus driver. You know, Dr. Weston was even like, we could possibly even provide the bus. And then focus on transporting their 3-year-olds. And the reason why we say 3-year-olds is because we were able to take the 4-year-olds that we currently have that meet criteria for Head Start and for VPI Bright Stars and service them in their home school. So what that means is we will no longer shuttle 4-year-olds from Sutherland, from Midway, or from Southside. Well, Southside, they already go there. Or Sunnyside. And what that means is that Head Start had 20 students that were in their 3-year-old program that were going to be promoted to their 4-year-old program. But I'm in the process now of having those conversations with parents and explaining to them that we can provide them with a quality preschool experience in their home school where they will attend kindergarten. So parents are really excited about that. So our goal to eliminate our shuttles, we're not quite there. The only place that we will have to continue to shuttle children from will be Dinwiddie Elementary School. That will be the only elementary school that will not have a preschool program in the fall. we were able to open a preschool classroom. Thank you, Mr. Johnson, at Midway Elementary School. We're very excited about that because we did have the number 18 families that met criteria that we could service in their homeschool at Midway. So that's exciting. So when we wrote the grant for our upcoming school year, our VPI grant, we did increase our slots from 80 to 90 because we are going to cap our classroom sizes at 18. So what that means is there's only 19 more slots left that Dinwiddie is allotted. So cross our fingers. Next year may be the year that we'll have our preschool program in all 5 of our elementary schools. So we're very excited about that. Currently, we've had close to 120 applications for 4-year-olds and close to 60 for 3-year-olds. Head Start right now will be able to keep 15 of their 4-year-olds that are zoned Southside, 12 Southside, 3 Dinwiddie, so that's only 3 that we'll have to transport. And our focus is going to continue to be to service 4s before trying to reach out to 3s. But we assured Mr. Tyler that our goal is for both of our programs to continue to meet enrollment because they get really nervous about that. And we're all going to meet enrollment because the kids are there. They're definitely there. Another thing that's really exciting is if you remember back when I talked in December about the preschool development grant and the unified measurement system and Ready Regions, I did provide you some information this evening on Ready Regions just to give you a little more knowledge about that. Smart Beginnings has been around since 2005. That's totally gone now. As of this summer, they'll be gone. So now they're all rebranding. Richmond Smart Beginnings is now called Thrive, Birth to 5. And Smart Beginnings of Southeast is in the process now of rebranding. So Dinwiddie County, we are part of Ready Region Central, which is basically Smart Beginnings of Richmond is the grant holder. And Smart Beginnings of Southeast, which is all going away, they're going to continue to provide us with the service model, with the services that they have provided. So the PDG Birth Through 5 grant that we have been part of for the past 2 years, that's going to be phased out, and that's going to be part of the Virginia quality system. I'm excited to say that we have been part of their practice year this year. The ratings will be shared with us privately, and then they will begin to be shared publicly in 2024. Any programs Birth Through 5 in Virginia that accept public subsidies starting next school year, it's not an option to be part of that program, which we've been part of it for 2 years, so we're well where we need to be. 2 exciting initiatives that Ready Region Central are going to be pursuing. One is what's called the Mixed Delivery Program for 3-year-olds. And we do have 2 daycare centers in our community that have sent in a letter of interest. Angels at Play and the Greenhouse. And that Mixed Delivery Program, like I said, will be for 3-year-olds for 10 slots for each locality. Their funding for their slots, they will receive $11,000 per student, where our funding that we received based on the just approved budget is $8,839 per student. And you think, wow, why do they get more? Well, one of the things that they get to participate in that we do not is investing in their current staff. They're able to pay for those teachers to take their classes. Where with our teachers or our staff being in a public school setting, we don't get to be part of that program. So that's in that literature I provided for you. But that's really to try to recruit and keep quality care in those preschool settings. And the good news is they have to follow the same guidelines as VPI. So it's the same, they have to have a vetted curriculum. They have to use the class observation tool. So that's good. And then the other
exciting thing that Ready Regions, the other initiative is the single point of entry. And that's something I'm really excited about as someone who has spent hours trying to approve applications since February. With a coordinated enrollment and a single point of entry, families would be able to apply for preschool in Dinwiddie County. And then based on their application, the information they provide, we would be able to say to them, here are the programs that you qualify for. And then that increases their access to all the programs and it gives them choice. And those are two of the biggest goals that we have in Dinwiddie County, is just to be able to service all of our families and for them to have choice. And we continue to do that through our coordinated efforts with recruitment and enrollment, our strong relationships and our partnerships, and then we have our consistent and continuous collaboration with our community stakeholders. So, any questions on early learning in Dinwiddie County? We've come a long way in a short time.
And our existing daycare centers or childcare providers are aware of our changes because it affects their slots
Yes,
as well.
ma'am. We have a VPI steering committee, and we have done a great job this year of meeting quarterly. And we've had representation. I have family providers. We have the daycare center directors. We have social services. So we're able, Stepping Stones just shared last week at a meeting that they're really excited. This is the first time since the pandemic hit that they are at enrollment. So
And we included our Father's House, which is outside of Dinwiddie, but has Dinwiddie kids in it.
yeah,
Or at
we
least
haven't-
let them know.
we haven't included that one. And we've even talked about including our faith-based preschools because we haven't in the past because public subsidy. However, they still service our families too. So we have talked about expanding our stakeholders in those quarterly meetings.
Yeah, because I know the guy that comes from Father's House brings a van in.
Right,
And then, of course, you got Oakland.
And we provided
And
them-
we've got
I think
Kids
We
First.
provided technology to them too. This past.
And I just want to make sure they stay informed because at one point when we opened something up and they felt like we snatched their kids and they were.
That was stepping stones, and we've come a long ways with
Yes.
rebuilding that relationship. Yes, ma'am.
Thank
We
you.
sure have. I did want to share too, if you're not aware of, early learning will be at the Resource Palooza this Saturday morning at Eastside, and also sharing opportunities for early learning in Dinwiddie County.
I read an article over the weekend that said that the adult brain, 95% of the adult brain is really formed at ages 0 through 5. I thought that was really interesting, and
That's
that's why
amazing.
this is so very important
Yeah.
to get to the kids before they actually show up here.
2037.
Yeah.
Wow. These are our babies.
Yep.
So,
Awesome.
Ms. Brooks, regarding the mixed delivery program, the daycare centers in the area, all of them know about this?
Yes, David Williams is the coordinator for Ready Regions, and they've been trying to push into Dinwiddie County. We tried that several years ago with Stepping Stones, and we weren't able to pursue that. So, yes, we have to sign an MOU with them, and I'm also part of their leadership team so that we can continue to coordinate all of our efforts. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So when go back to Dinwiddie Elementary won't have one. So where will their kids go? Southside.
Sunnyside or
Southside or
Southside?
Sunnyside.
That's the only place we'll have to shuttle.
Okay.
And right now, that's 9 children.
So they might be split. Some go to Sunnyside and some go to
Yes,
Southside.
ma'am.
All right, historic.
Yes, and the last thing under, so we have members here this evening. Last but definitely not least, we have members here from our historic Southside High School alumni. This is a very active group, as you know. Do a lot of wonderful work here in our community, and so we're here to talk a little bit about what's been happening.
Yes.
Good to see you.
Good to be here.
Yes.
Good evening to all.
Good evening.
I'm delighted to stand before you this afternoon to share with you an update on historic Southside High School. Several members of the Southside High School Alumni Association are here this afternoon to show support of the efforts and the progress since the last time we shared an update with the school board. I ask them to please stand at this time to be recognized. Thank you. The Historic Southside High Alumni Association continues to uphold its commitment to preserving the legacy of Dinwiddie Normal and Industrial School and Southside High School, to promoting activities that highlight the historical significance of Southside High School and those who positively impacted the education of Black students in Dinwiddie County during the Southside High School era, 1954 through 1969. To inspiring and promoting lifelong learning opportunities for future generations, to supporting and promoting a museum to house memorabilia of the Southside era at the historical site. Some of the following activities or programs have been implemented to uphold the commitments and goals established by the Alumni Association. The 501(c) status is in place and is filed with IRS annually. The partnership with Amazon continues, and donations are distributed in the community via churches, the food bank, civic and community involvement organizations, individual requests, Dinwiddie Social Services, and in the schools. The collection of memorabilia to house in the museum is ongoing. We are excited to acquire pictures and a book of poems written by the first principal of Southside, Dr. Roy N. Watson. Southside High School is now officially included in the Civil Rights in Education Heritage Trail, and the pedestal marker stands at the site, recognizing Southside's role in the African American struggle for rights to an equal education. Please stop by at some point if you haven't and view the marker. It was unveiled in 2021. The class of 1967 has also donated a bench that has been placed on the grounds. We are mostly excited about meeting our goal to provide a scholarship in the name of historic Southside High School. We will proudly present not one, but 3 $500 scholarships to 3 deserving seniors who meet the criteria. This, we hope, will be an annual scholarship presentation. We continue to annually renew the Memorandum of Understanding with the school system. We continue to host activities that highlight historical significance and those who positively impact the education of Black students in Dinwiddie via our annual event typically held in October. We are currently planning this year's event for October 15th, 2022. The 1987 class of Dinwiddie High School has agreed to partner with the Alumni Association and sponsor this year's event entitled Shine the Light on Excellence. It will be a late afternoon, early dinner event. The Black History program continues to be in February in celebration of Black History. Plans are to continue to work with the technology department to have a social media presence. It is still a work in progress. It has been a bit of a challenge because most of us are seniors and are technologically challenged. Ms. Monique Yates and Mr. Ampey have graciously agreed to assist us. Thank you for affording us this opportunity and for your continuous support. Mrs. Yates sends her regrets for not being in attendance today, but she is vacationing in Jamaica. To God be the glory. Thank you for your support.
Thank you.
Questions? That's it. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Citizens' comments? None? Board comments?
I just
don't want to leave here to again congratulate Claire. And I want you to know and your parents to know that I continue to be proud of you and you will go a long way. I love everything about you. And thank you for what you've done for our school system. Okay. And I want to congratulate and welcome our new the young lady who got the job, forgot her name, and our new appointments to our principals and assistant principals, and to Ms. Tucker, congratulations to you. And Mr. Garnes, I probably won't see her again until next year, but tell Ms. Sims she's on it. She's very good. I applaud her every year. She makes me dizzy. She's good at what she does.
Oh, well, Miss Meredith, I can say ditto to what you said. I'm not going to repeat that. However, since our last meeting, I did attend the regional VSBA meeting in Short Pump, and I attended the graduation, which was, I always say, our graduation is awesome. I don't care about anybody else's, but ours is awesome. And Claire, I looked for you when they called your name and I didn't see you. I had Miss Pittman looking for you. And Miss Pittman said, I think she's here. She has to be here. And we didn't see you stand up, and I was concerned. So when you came through the line, that's why I said, you are here. I was looking for you. So Miss Pittman, I forgot to tell you, but I did see Claire at the graduation. Thank you for all you've done and the relationship between you and Jamaica. I could see that grew, and it was just awesome. And I thank you too for that and for setting the example for other students who are coming behind you. And I know next year, by looking at you two, we're going to have some more excellent students coming behind you. And thank you, Mr. Garnes, for bringing them, getting them together to come to serve in such a worthy place. And the next thing I want to say that, Dr. Weston always talk about how we are out and about in the community. And Dr. Weston has formed some lasting relationships here in Dinwiddie County because of the person that she is and how she is out in the community. I don't think it's too many people in Dinwiddie County who don't know who the superintendent is. And we all were at one of her good friends in the county, Reverend Northam, decided to recognize educators in the county on Sunday. And we were there, and we were just so happy to see that he thought enough of us and her and the board and all to recognize our educators at their Men's Day. And I want to thank him, Cheryl, I want to call you Doctor, Miss Merritt, for what he's done for us, because all of that helps. It makes a difference when school, home, church, the community work together. That's when we make progress. That's when our students grow. So we thank Dr. Northam, Reverend Northam for that, Dr. Weston for coming, and certainly for our educators, our men, for showing up. We really appreciate it. So I've been kind of busy this month doing what I do, but I like it. Ms. Haney.
Okay.
I would like to also compliment Mr. Garnes and Ms. Sims on the graduation. It was dignified and smooth and ran very nicely. And we all know that sometimes that there are opportunities for it to go otherwise, but when it goes smooth and dignified, we're always very thankful. And also congratulations to those who are moving into different positions. Anytime you switch positions and change hats, there's a learning curve, but we have faith in all of you. You're going to hit the ground running, and whatever it is that you need from us or support or information, we'll be there to help you.
I too kind of ditto on everybody. Also like to congratulate teachers, another year made it through. Staff, wonderful job for everybody. Can't wait till next year. Enjoy your summer. Be safe. That's all right.
Okay. And same here. Mr. Garnes, the graduation was wonderful. The only thing I would like to make a comment about that I'm going to have to watch over again for graduation. We can't see, sitting where we are, the beautiful pictures that y'all have of all the people that y'all are talking about. You know what I'm talking about on the
screen.
movie screen?
Yeah.
We can't see those. And I'm going to go back on, and watch them because I glanced a little bit at it and they looked wonderful. And I know, y'all do a beautiful job. And Miss Sims does an excellent job. Graduation, all I did was hear wonderful things about how great it was from all the parents. And I just want to commend y'all. And the new assistant principals and principals, congratulations. And we're looking forward to working with y'all. And I know y'all will have a wonderful year. And I just want to say Dinwiddie is a wonderful place to live, wonderful schools, wonderful people. And like Mary said, Miss Benjamin said, the community works together. And Dr. Weston is amazing. Thank you very much. Claire. And Claire, we are going to miss you so much, girl.
Yes, I'm going to miss y'all too. This has been an amazing opportunity, and I'm so honored to be one of the first people to do it alongside Jamaica. It's been so impactful in my life. Well, Dinwiddie has, being here from kindergarten at Midway to middle school and then to the high school. I've had so many important people. Every teacher I've had has truly impacted my life. And some were even recognized today. Miss Robinson Williams, who does marketing, and that's what I'm going into. And I'm so excited for this next chapter, but I'm only an hour away, so you'll see me again.
Dr. Weston?
Yes. Yeah, so I don't know if you noticed, I watched Claire, I hugged her and I watched her go down and I saw a red shirt come kind of flying into the front of the stage, like rushing the stage, but it was her dad. It was really, really a sweet moment that he got to be right there for her when she came off the stage.
Yes.
So Sunday was a special day. I love Reverend Northam. I mean, he was one of the first people I met when I came to this community, and he truly is an advocate and a champion for young people. If you know him, it just young people in general. And so he did I did want to say that he did recognize many of our gentlemen here. Mr. Ampey was recognized, and Mr. Bird, Mr. Tucker, and Mr. Davis, Mr. Spence, and Pastor Garnes was also recognized. I call him Pastor Garnes because he's starting to when he speaks, he sounds a bit like a pastor. So, so he's my Pastor Garnes. And I also, am a firm believer in choices and, and I do think that, where people live, people choose where they live and they buy their education where they buy their house. And I'm so grateful that people choose to come and live in Dinwiddie County and choose Dinwiddie County Public Schools and share their young people with us. And I do think it's a great place to live and to learn and to serve. I do believe smart people can work anywhere, and I'm just so grateful of the people that are in this room tonight and all the ones that are on our team that they choose to work here in Dinwiddie County. We're really better for it. And I, too, am looking forward to next year. So it's going to be a great year.
Yes. Okay.
I want to say one more thing.
Okay. Yep.
I want a picture with all of y'all.
Okay.
Okay.
all of us.
Okay. That'd be great.
That's it. Okay.
Miss Sammy?
All right.
I move that we dismiss the meeting.
Second.